Hello, my basketball friends out there. Welcome to another segment of a Buckeye Vinny YouTube channel show. Sit back and really enjoy this. My friends, I'm sure it is all well known that Sunday afternoon it was a Big Ten showdown between the Wisconsin Badgers versus the Michigan Wolverines. And, throughout the game, it was a hard fought battle. Wisconsin went on to win the game at home 77-63. But the fireworks started after the game. Figure that out. They're lining up to shake hands, which that's what you do in sports. You try to be good sports and you shake hands with the other team. As they're lining up, Juwan Howard, the head coach for Michigan, took offense to GARD, the head coach for Wisconsin, for calling a timeout with 15 seconds to go in the game. That's right. 15 seconds to go, and Wisconsin's coach called a timeout. And at the time, Wisconsin was up by 15 points. So, my friends, it was totally ugly. Okay? I've played college basketball for 1 year. I coached basketball. And the way I seen these two so-called coaches reacting after the game was shameful, to be very honest with you. Now, I'm not going to defend Juwan Howard. Obviously, he threw a punch at Wisconsin's assistant coach. Whatever was said, that I don't know. Do I understand why Howard maybe was a little ticked off at Coach Gary GARD for Wisconsin? Yes, okay? You're up by 14 or 15 with 15 seconds to go and you call a timeout? Come on. As I'm watching this game, I was truly not understanding why the timeout was called. Now, he claimed, Coach GARD claimed that he told CBS after the game, apparently Coach Howard didn't like it that he called timeout to reset the 10-second call. I get that. Coach GARD, you're up by 15 points with 15 seconds to go. You're not going to lose that game. If you do, you should be fired. Again, Wisconsin went on to win by 14, 77-63. But this is not the issue, okay? The issue is, obviously, throughout the very late in the fourth quarter, or the second half, Coach GARD wasn't pleased with Michigan pressing the Wisconsin backups. I've never heard such a thing. Now, Michigan was the team that was losing. Okay? So, yes, anyone that knows basketball, I don't care if you got your first stringers in or your second stringers. The game is not over until the buzzer sounds. So, Greg GARD was upset, Wisconsin's coach, was upset at Juwan Howard for pressing his second stringers that he put in. Again, these second stringers obviously played high school basketball. So if you can't break a press, okay, there's a problem. Maybe they should not be on the team. Now, for Greg GARD to be displeased because Michigan was pressing, and this is what he quote, was pressing his backups. Well, it sounds like to me he didn't have much faith in his backups. So, in order to get back, this is the way I see it, at Juwan Howard, he then decided to call a timeout again with 15 seconds left. Now, again, when I'm watching this game, okay, the game's ticking down, the game's over, they're lining up. Juwan Howard obviously was not upset. I'm sorry, was upset with what Coach GARD did by calling the timeout. We all get that. Again, Howard is going to face major scrutiny, obviously, for throwing a punch at Wisconsin's assistant coach. So, without a doubt, Coach Howard will be fined, and without a doubt, I guarantee he'll be suspended for a few games, which he should. Okay? What are you setting an example, coaches, for these young student athletes? Because it was a little ugly with the student athletes. Obviously, they're seeing their mentors getting into it, pushing and shoving, throwing a punch. So they probably figured, hey, coach is doing it, it's a free-for-all. This is the issue I'm having in sports nowadays. Honest to goodness. Could this have been prevented? Yes, it could have. Okay? It could have been prevented by Coach Greg GARD not calling a timeout when his team is up by 14, 15 points with 15 ticks left in the game. The game's over. Why are you calling timeout for? The game's over. I get it why you called timeout to reset the 10-second clock. I get that. Now, if the game was 2-point game, 3-point game, 5-point game, that would have been different. But a 14 to 15 point lead with 15 seconds left and you're calling timeout, that I did not understand. Again, did it give Coach Howard the right to throw a punch at the assistant coach for Wisconsin? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So again, my friends, when I'm watching these two coaches, as they're getting ready to shake hands, Howard wanted no part to even shake Coach Greg GARD's hand. Maybe he should have handled it this way, meaning Coach Howard. If he was that ticked off, okay, how about a phone call maybe after the game to Coach GARD? Basically saying, what the hell are you doing? Calling a timeout, trying to rub it in our face. If Juwan Howard was that upset, these coaches get interviewed after the game. Maybe he should have expressed to CBS and the announcers that Coach GARD was not classy what he did at the end of the game. But again, this all could have been prevented. Coach Juwan Howard decided that he was going to confront Coach GARD for Wisconsin, which he did. And, fingers were pointing in one another's faces. Coach GARD basically put his hands on Juwan Howard to basically say, I'm not done with you yet, being that you confronted me first. So, yes, it got very ugly. Very ugly. And again, shame on the coaches. Again, my friends, these are two Big Ten Division I coaches, and they were acting this way. Again, what are you showing to your student athletes? What are you showing to your players? Don't you teach your players to show self-confidence in themselves and to be under control? Well, these two coaches weren't under control. That's why, again, I'm watching this play out, and I'm thinking to myself, this is going to get ugly. Sure enough, it did. To me, it was ridiculous for a Division I don't care if it's Division I or Division III, it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's 8th grade basketball, okay? For these coaches to react the way they did, if you got a beef with the coach, maybe get that coach off to the side, maybe after the game. Like I said, make a phone call, and if you really want to, speak your piece with some language that I can't say right now, then do that. But to go after a coach and to put your hands on a coach and to take a swing at the assistant coach, what in the world are these two coaches thinking? Now, for me, it was like two little kids on the playground trying to get even with one another. It truly was. Totally ridiculous. Okay? Again, Greg GARD was not happy because Juwan Howard's team was pressing. But don't you do that in basketball when you're losing? So, number one, I did not understand Coach GARD and his thinking about that. In order to get back at Coach Howard and Michigan, that's when he decided to call the timeout and basically maybe put it in Coach Howard's face. So, totally unacceptable what these two coaches did. Obviously, one coach is in a world of trouble, and that would be Juwan Howard. Coach GARD, on the other hand, is not in trouble, but I lost some respect in him too. Number one, again, I just got to clarify this. He was upset because Michigan was pressing his backups. I never heard such a thing, okay? Your backups work hard in practice. Your backups compete against the starters, which should make the backups even better. So if the backups do not realize how to break a press, and it's very simple, my coaching is going to come out here, you always get the ball in the middle of the court. You always have a man in the middle of the court. Okay? You don't want to bring the ball up to try to break the press on the sides, because the minute you stop your dribble, you're done. That's when you're going to get double-teamed, triple-teamed, and that's when turnovers happen. You break a press, number one, by passing through the press, not dribbling through. And you break a press by getting the ball in the middle of the court. It only makes sense. Because if you don't, that's when Michigan decided to trap. Okay? Coach Howard is a very good coach. He knows his X's and O's. Should he have thrown a punch? Absolutely not. Coach GARD is a very good coach for Wisconsin. But again, to try to get even, again, they were both wrong. Okay? Both of these coaches were wrong. One, again, was trying to get back at the other one. And a very good Big Ten physical play game that, again, Wisconsin went on to win at home 77-63, turned out very ugly at the end of the game, brought on by the coaches. Again, not the players. The coaches were the ones that started this shamble of a post-game ending of a game. My friends, if you like this video, please, by all means, comment down below. If you like this video, please click on the like button. And most of all, if you are new to my channel out there, please click on the subscribe button. I would truly appreciate it. Like always, peace out. God bless. Wisconsin, Michigan, you're going to be facing one another down the road again. We'll see how this turns out. I'm out of here.